Winning in PUBG is the greatest feeling that I've ever experienced.
With the popularity of esports on the rise, we look at gamers go from recreational players to professional players. In today's Behind the Screen special, we follow the story of Trenton Fignaldo Bonfilio and his journey to becoming a pro player in the popular battle royale game Players Unknown Battlegrounds, or PUBG for short. We will look at different perspectives on why it is so sought after for gamers to become pros, what it took for Trenton to become a pro, and how being a pro has affected his life.
I think with professional gaming in general, I think for a lot of gamers, they're very competitive, and to reach that high level of competitiveness and then reach that success as well, it's very rewarding for them.
It's the essentially American dream of gaming. Essentially, you get to play games, do what you love.
It is, kind of taboo or frowned upon. People frown upon, pursuing something that's so time consuming and takes away from real life. And I think that's part of the appeal to it, is that, people who do love to game want to prove that they can make something out of it, like Trent has said.
Now that we see that becoming an esports pro is the peak for many gamers, we will delve into what it takes to become one and what it takes to get onto a team.
You made your name via the success that you had in public matches and leaderboards. And I started climbing those leaderboards step by step. And a top 100 rank really was something that was very hard to do, and I ended up achieving it for a few seasons. After each season, they reset the stats, and with that reputation that I was gaining, I put my name out there for a competitive team.
The actual steps into getting signed for a team, obviously you didn't just play the game and then have the leaderboards do the rest. There was obviously other things that you had to go through to actually get signed onto a team. What was that process like?
So I would say first and foremost, with any competitive game and competitive gaming, trying to get on a roster, you really have to advertise yourself. You have to market yourself in a way that is very appealing to other players to be able to play with. Not only skill, but also personality, and easy to work with, easy to get along with, and you're not what we call, a very toxic personality. If you're playing a team game, that's something that you can't have in any facet of your team.
With insight from Trenton on what it takes to become a pro, we'll look at what it is like for him being a pro and how it affects him and those he is close to.
It's not always easy. I'm not gonna lie about that. With this schedule, it's time consuming, and to get that quality time it's a little bit of a fight sometimes, but he does a really good job of balancing it, and I know it's hard, and we have those conversations of hey, I know it's been tough lately, and we just have to do a better job.
He kind of became more and more, reserved, I guess, that's pretty much all he was focused on as he was going after it. So definitely noticed that, there wasn't as much opportunity to have FaceTime with him.
Even though Trenton reached his peak in gaming by becoming a pro, he would find out the hard way that he is in for a bumpy ride and not everything was going to be easy.
We know the team that you were on when you went to Sweden, you guys kind of had some underwhelming results. I don't think they were expected results, and obviously they weren't the kind of results that you wanted, and the outcome of it was pretty unfortunate for you. You did end up getting benched and then eventually removed from the team. How did that kind of affect your state of mind as far as PUBG goes? Did it knock you down? Did it give you drive to keep pushing? What kind of happened there?
So when I first heard about them exploring new options, I was, as any person striving to achieve their end goals and their dreams, I was pretty shut down at first. I would say that I probably took a 2-week break from PUBG and sort of had that realization, going back to one of your questions about sacrificing time with family and friends, where I went full circle, and I went back and sort of realized, this performance was not only because I didn't prepare myself but I also was under an extremely high amount of stress, and visiting with friends and family really does reduce that stress level and introduces happiness in your life outside of the game. If you're not succeeding in game, you're going to be really down on yourself. So it's important to go back to your roots, essentially, to your family and to your friends, and rekindle the flame. And so that's what I did.
I don't think he was going to give up, but he was sort of a little sad. It kind of showed when we would hang out with him and whatnot.
When he came back from Sweden, there was definitely a change in him. I think guys definitely saw it impact his morale. He was kicking himself.
Right after this bounce back, he kind of went through another traumatic experience not too long later, which was an incident with a teammate and cheating. How did this kind of, affect you? You just got back up on your feet, you're feeling it at the top of your game, and then you have one person who kind of messes it up, takes away the chance for everybody.
Yeah, that was, I would say that time in my life was even a more magnified event of hardship and of essentially I just felt lost. Like I didn't know what I was going to do for the remainder of this was right around the new year of 2019, and I thought I was done with PUBG at that point, because not only was that event a shock to me, because I spoke with my teammates about it too after the news had hit us, and we all agreed that we had no idea that he was cheating, essentially.
Going from one rough patch to another, Trenton came to a hard spot in his life, but he never let that snuff the flame of his passion or let it bring his dream to an end.
I think he had more drive to just continue to try and make it in the scene. That his first opportunity on that team kind of ignited that. I mean, the passion's always been there, but it kind of opened his eyes to being like, oh, this is something that I can really do. So I think he kind of pursued it even more after that, honestly.
I'm with another team now, and we've been grinding, and we've shared goals of becoming professional players, salaried in the professional league itself. So I would say that the event, I'd say these events that you've mentioned in the past 6 months of my PUBG career essentially have made me grow as not only a player but as a person itself as well.
Now back on his feet with his new team, Lowkey Esports, Trenton is at the top of his game. He used the past to learn and was able to realign his priorities, allowing him to spend more time with his friends and family, but still doing what he loves, gaming.
And Lowkey Esports yet again!